What comes to mind when you think of a millionaire? Is it flashy cars, designer suits, and sprawling mansions? In The Millionaire Next Door, authors Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko shatter this stereotype. Instead of focusing on outward displays of wealth, they delve into the habits and characteristics of real millionaires, people who quietly amass wealth and live financially independent lives. Their findings? Most millionaires live far below their means in modest neighborhoods and prioritize financial discipline over luxury. The book begins with a provocative question: why aren't you wealthy? The authors propose that the answer lies in lifestyle choices. Wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. This revelation lays the groundwork for a paradigm shift in how we perceive wealth and success. Stanley and Danko conducted extensive research to uncover what makes millionaires tick. They sent surveys, conducted interviews, and analyzed financial habits. What they found was surprising. Many millionaires weren't high-income earners like doctors or lawyers. Instead, they were people in mundane professions who practiced frugality and intentionality with their money. One story they share is about Mr. Friend, a welding contractor who quietly built a multi-million-dollar net worth. Unlike his peers, he didn't splurge on the latest gadgets or luxury cars. Instead, he invested wisely and avoided debt. His success was invisible to the world, but profoundly impactful on his life. A recurring theme in the book is the author's simple yet powerful formula for financial success: income minus expenses equals wealth. This equation seems obvious, but the behavior behind it is where most people falter. The cornerstone of wealth building is living below your means. Stanley and Danko illustrate this through the contrasting stories of two fictional characters, Dr. North and Mr. South. Dr. North, despite earning a six-figure income, spends extravagantly and is saddled with debt. Mr. South, a blue-collar worker, saves diligently and invests. By the end of their working lives, Mr. South has accumulated significantly more wealth than Dr. North. The lesson? High income doesn't guarantee wealth. Consistent savings and prudent spending do. Millionaires focus on their net worth, not their income. The authors identify several behaviors that set millionaires apart from the rest. One of the most striking is their commitment to budgeting. Wealthy individuals don't just hope to save money, they plan for it. They allocate their income intentionally, ensuring they spend less than they earn. One millionaire featured in the book is a small business owner who tracks every dollar. He lives in a modest house, drives a used car, and takes pride in his ability to save. His secret? He never lets lifestyle inflation erode his earnings. Instead of upgrading his lifestyle with every raise, he invests his additional income. This habit of intentional spending is paired with another key trait: investing early and consistently. Millionaires don't wait until their 40s or 50s to start saving. They understand the power of compound interest and let time work in their favor. One of the most empowering revelations in The Millionaire Next Door is that most millionaires are self-made. They weren't born into wealth or handed trust funds. Instead, they earn their money through hard work, discipline, and smart decisions. This insight dispels the myth that wealth is reserved for the privileged few. The book highlights that becoming wealthy requires a mindset shift. Millionaires view every dollar as a tool. Instead of asking, "How can I spend this money?" they ask, "How can I make this money work for me?" Take, for example, the story of a small business owner who started with nothing but a vision. He didn't take lavish vacations or buy expensive clothes. Instead, he reinvested in his business and grew it steadily. Over decades, his modest lifestyle and entrepreneurial spirit turned him into a millionaire. This mindset ties into another essential principle: wealth is more about habits than luck. The authors emphasize that small, consistent actions over time, like saving a portion of every paycheck or avoiding debt, are what truly build wealth. Stanley and Danko identify several wealth traps that keep people from achieving financial independence. One major trap is keeping up with the Joneses. Imagine living in an affluent neighborhood where every neighbor drives a luxury car. The pressure to conform can lead many to spend beyond their means, often through debt. Millionaires, however, are immune to this social pressure. They prioritize long-term financial security over short-term gratification. One poignant example in the book is of a teacher who never felt the need to upgrade her lifestyle despite earning more over the years. She lived in the same modest house for decades, focused on saving, and retired a millionaire quietly. Another critical theme in the book is the difference between teaching children to be consumers versus wealth builders. Many millionaires raise their kids with the same values of frugality and hard work that made them successful. A memorable anecdote from the book involves a millionaire father who gifted his child a used car instead of a new one. His rationale: he wanted his child to appreciate the value of money and the importance of making thoughtful financial decisions. This philosophy contrasts sharply with families who unintentionally encourage entitlement by providing their children with luxuries they haven't earned. By instilling the right values, millionaires ensure that their wealth isn't squandered in the next generation but continues to grow. The final pillar of the book's philosophy is the importance of investing wisely. Millionaires understand that saving alone isn't enough. They let their money work for them through investments in stocks, real estate, and businesses. Stanley and Danko illustrate the magic of compounding with a story of an investor who started small but was consistent. Over 30 years, his modest investments grew exponentially, enabling him to retire early. The lesson: time is your greatest ally in building wealth. One of the most consistent traits among millionaires in the Millionaire Next Door is their commitment to living below their means. This principle underscores that wealth is not about how much you earn, but how much you keep. Consider a doctor featured in the book who earns a six-figure salary but constantly struggles with debt because of an extravagant lifestyle. In contrast, a blue-collar worker earning half as much builds significant wealth by saving diligently and avoiding unnecessary expenses. This stark comparison reveals that income level is less important than financial discipline. Many millionaires interviewed by Stanley and Danko don't drive flashy cars or wear designer clothes. Instead, they focus on practicality. For example, they might drive a car that's a decade old but still reliable. The reasoning? Depreciation. They understand that the value of a luxury car plummets the moment it's driven off the lot, making it a poor investment. Discipline is the foundation upon which every millionaire builds their wealth. It takes discipline to save instead of spend, to invest rather than consume, and to stay the course during challenging economic times. The book shares the story of a couple who lived in a modest home and avoided vacations for years so they could pay off their mortgage early. While their friends teased them for their boring lifestyle, the couple eventually achieved financial freedom, retiring comfortably in their early 50s. Even during economic downturns, disciplined individuals stick to their financial plans. They don't panic sell investments or take on unnecessary debt. Instead, they remain calm, knowing that long-term wealth is built through patience and consistency. At its core, The Millionaire Next Door is as much about psychology as it is about money. The authors delve into the mindset required to build and sustain wealth, emphasizing self-control, long-term thinking, and the ability to resist societal pressures. Imagine two individuals with identical incomes. One spends impulsively, always seeking the latest gadget or trend. The other saves strategically, investing in assets that appreciate over time. A decade later, their financial situations will look drastically different, not because of their earnings, but because of their mindsets. The wealthy individual understands delayed gratification. They are willing to forego immediate pleasures for future security and freedom. The ultimate message of The Millionaire Next Door is that anyone can build wealth by adopting the right habits and mindset. It's not about luck or inheritance. It's about discipline, frugality, and the willingness to make sacrifices for long-term rewards. By embracing these principles, you can set yourself on the path to financial independence. The journey may not be glamorous, but it's profoundly rewarding. If this audiobook summary inspired you, check the description for a link to get your copy of The Millionaire Next Door on Amazon, or enjoy it with a complimentary 30-day Audible trial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing book summaries. Your journey to financial freedom starts here.